In this movie, we'll use ActionScript to manipulate objects on the stage. The first thing you need to do is give your object an instance name. So it should be an instance of either a movie clip or a button symbol. Select it on the stage, and in the Property Inspector, click in the Instance Name field and name your object my_btn. Now if you don't have access to the exercise files, this could be any movie clip or button symbol. I'm going to press Enter or Return to accept the change to its instance name. Go to the first keyframe of the Actions layer and open up the Actions panel. So let's say I wanted to move the button when I clicked it. So the first thing I'm going to do is add an event listener to the button. So my_btn dot add event listener, and the event's going to be mouse event.click. And we'll run a function called btn click, capital C. And then below this, we'll define that function. So function space btn click, capital C. In the parentheses, it's going to receive an event object with the data type of mouse event. Return data type is going to be void. And in the curly braces, I'm going to manipulate the button. To access an object's properties or methods, you use .syntax. So if I wanted to manipulate its x or y position, I would type my_btn dot x. If I wanted to manipulate the x position, for example, space equals space, and let's set it equal to 0. That would be the left edge of the stage. And coordinates for visual objects by default are top left based. So when we move an object, we're manipulating it based on its top left coordinates. So test the movie right now, and then notice the button is in the middle of the screen. Click on it, and then see it go to the left edge of the stage. Nice. Close the preview window and change X to Y. Remember that in ActionScript, everything is based on the top left. So a Y position of 0 means the top of the stage, not the bottom like it does in math class. So test the movie. Click the button, and it goes to the top of the stage. Nice. Now, let's say we wanted to manipulate other properties. You can actually preview all the properties in that code hinting window. So you'll see properties like alpha, which control the transparency. So if I select alpha, and let's say I set it equal to 0.5, and then you'll see it change alpha when you test the movie. So click on the button, and it goes to 0.5 alpha. The buttons are instances of the simple button class. So what you would do is go to Flash Help and look up the simple button class to see its properties and methods. And you can see what you can manipulate using .syntax. If you're working with a movie clip, you want to look up the movie clip class in Flash Help. Let's say you wanted to take this object off the stage. So I'm going to delete this line of code, and I'm going to use a method called removeChild. The button is on the main timeline. So if I wanted to remove that button from the main timeline, I would have the main timeline call its method removeChild. So one way to do that is to type this, which refers to the main timeline, .removeChild, capital C, and in parentheses, pass in the visual object that I want to remove. So this has to be called from the child's parent, my_btn being the child, and the main timeline being its parent. So when I pass in my_btn, and I test the movie, I click Click Me, it disappears, and now it's no longer there at all. So removeChild takes an object out of what's called a display list, so it's no longer visual. This can make an object eligible for garbage collection, which means it can be deleted from memory. In this example, however, the object would not be eligible for garbage collection because there's still an event listener attached to the button. So we'd have to remove that event listener, calling its removeEventListener method to do so. I won't do that here, though. I'm going to erase this and the dot because actually that code's kind of redundant, because when I just call removeChild from the main timeline, Flash knows that I'm referring to the main timeline, so I don't have to use the this keyword at all, actually. So if I test the movie, I get the same result when I click the button. So basically, working with display objects, you can use .syntax. Display objects are in some sort of display object container like the main timeline or a parent movie clip or something like that. If you want to remove an object from a container, you just call that container's removeChild method and pass in the object that you want to remove.